Alright guys, I thought I would try this at a different vantage point tonight. So I'm alongside I-10 because they're expanding Interstate 10, making it 4-lane. So this is the direction I typically go from work. And I drive this road, and a lot of times I will see things in the sky starting like right in here. Now excuse the glare from my windshield. Obviously we know that there's nothing but glare, and I'm not referring to anything that you see on that. Because believe it or not, I can tell the difference between these things, and I just love how some people can chime in. They're like, that's just a thing on your windshield, or that's dust, that's dirt, that's this, or that's that. Let me tell you something. I have lived long enough and had quite a few years of experience, not to mention being a skywatcher my entire life, that I'm pretty sure, and this is just me talking out loud, that I probably know the difference between those things because my cognitive response was once conditioned like everybody else's cognitive response. Okay? Now, the funny thing is though, I can still tell the difference between those and everything else. In fact, I can tell even better difference because for some reason now I have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, much like a lot of you on my channel out there already do, and praise God for you because it makes it so much easier to convey my message and explain things and try to say what I'm trying to say without the imbeciles going, oh, that's a piece of dirt, or that's an airplane, because most people's eyes, and I really shouldn't be mean, because most people's eyes have been conditioned towards that kind of cognitive response. But honestly, if they just stopped long enough in their very busy days and their very busy lives, and they actually just paid attention, like closer attention to everything around them, they too would probably see that the world has completely changed right in front of their eyes. And I mean, not in just technology. And actually our technology is far behind, by the way. Oh look, we got one right there. We are way far behind in our technology. Big time. We have literally have had and still have much more advanced technology. It's just being hidden from you. You know why? Because there are a certain group of people, just a little small handful of people, individuals, that have been in charge of everything you do, everything you see, and everything and all the ways it's conveyed to you since you were born into this world. You were born into this world as a slave, believe it or not. All of us, we were born into bondage by like our souls. Literally. If you don't think that all the megalithic structures all over the world, all of the pyramids, which also are found all over the world, and if you don't think like there's all sorts of ancient artifacts that are being dug up daily, along with giant skeletons, and literally everything else that would blow your mind, if you don't think that anything advanced, you know, back then, and it wasn't like, I guess technology wasn't as grand as it is now, you're wrong. You're so wrong. I mean, my goodness, that's why the earth was wiped out. It was wiped out because technology got too advanced. Human beings, which maybe are hybrids, I haven't figured that one out yet, but human beings got to where they were just uncaring. They were conditioned on top of just being dumbed down. They were literally numb to feelings. I mean, you don't see hardly any of that anymore now either. And by the way, it's been 26,000 years since the last one. So I'm just saying we are, you know, living in those days again. We have went full circle and full cycle right here. So I'm just wanting you to just kind of listen here and not like what you've heard in textbooks or what you read in books or what you hear from anyone else's mouth. Just because you sat in a desk and somebody wrote a textbook and your teacher stood at the top of the room and she taught it to you doesn't make it right. I mean, what happened to all of us thinking for ourselves? I don't even know that very many has ever actually tried that. Book smart, I get it. I mean, heck, who can't be book smart? Well, I mean, some people probably can't. But, you know, book smart's one thing, but that's a book. What about just smart in general by your own observations? I mean, what about that? I mean, has anyone tried that on for sight? And I mean, I myself am guilty until I woke up one day. I mean, I was that person. I really was like that person. I was just like, oh, straight A student, National Honor Society, top 10%, graduated in my class. You know, I mean, all these things that didn't matter and didn't amount to a hill of beans. Literally, it didn't. And you know what's funny though? Even when I was like a young child at the earliest age that I can remember, I always knew something was off and wrong with this world. Nothing was right and nothing made sense. And here we were, land of the free, home of the brave. And it never even once felt that way to me because there's so many rules and guidelines and this and that and the other and vaccinations that you must get in order to do this or that. In order to succeed in anything, you have to have a college degree, you have to have this, you have to have that. It's all a bunch of bull crap. Sorry, it's bull crap. You've been lied to. You have been lied to. We have been conditioned. We are born into slavery and bondage, my friends. True story. It is a true story. I couldn't make it up. And you know what? All you gotta do is look. I mean saying look for yourselves. You don't have to go to a book and say like, well, I looked it up and Edward so-and-so Hillhouse, whatever you want to say his name was, said that, you know, this happened at this time. You weren't there. Maybe he was, but how do you know he's telling the truth? The point is, look around, look up, look down, look on the ground, pick up your rocks once in a while, stare at them. Look at your grass, look at the way it grows, look at the leaves on the trees, look at the way they grow. Look at the corn that we have now, look at the corn we had didn't. Just look around, for goodness sake. Everything, and I mean everything, and not just those simple little things that I just mentioned. I'm talking about everything has changed. And so subtly, which is exactly the way it was planned by this little amazing group of individuals that own pretty much all your banks and you know, your Federal Reserve, that's owned by them. So, oh, and by the way, any of you that think that there's just free money or like money's just made and, you know, the White House building and then we get it that way and it's all honest, you're wrong again too. Totally wrong. And I don't think they teach you that in school, where the money comes from. The money comes from a Federal Reserve owned by a handful of very, very wealthy individuals, which, by the way, have those hands dabbling in every single country that we have. You know, it's New World Order, the Alliance. I mean, gosh, people, it's so blatantly obvious. I can't even see how I didn't see it then. I really can't. I mean, it's just amazing to me that I was even blinded by this. But I mean, you know, they are purposely doing this. And if you can't see it, you need to just look. Start looking, even if a little bit at a time. Even if all you understand is what the rest of the world is doing. And because the rest of the world is doing that, that must mean they're right. Doesn't mean that at all. And there is a reason that there is a narrow gateway into heaven. There is a reason for that. And it's not about what you guys think. It's not about, I went to church every Sunday, I went to church every Sunday night, I went to church on Wednesday nights, and I went to every church camp and blah, 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 blah. It's not about that. If you think God is looking at you, counting up those days that happened, you're wrong again. You're wrong. What he's looking for is your minds and your eyes to be open. Open them back up. That's what he's looking for. He's looking for love and compassion for one another, for mankind, for truth and honesty and commitment and spirit, heart, mind, and soul. And you know what? We're not doing any of that. And the mind thing, you know, that mind part, when I said spirit, mind, heart, and soul, and the mind, we need to start using that thing. I mean, literally, like, you know, somebody's knocking but nobody's home. It's pretty sad. And I don't care. You don't have to be like everybody else. You don't have to be like, but I graduated in the top 10% like me. I mean, who gives a flying monkey's butt? I mean, I don't. I can't even believe I used to brag about that because I have no bragging rights. I have no bragging rights. I was dumb, stupid, childish, immature. I was literally everything and all that one could possibly do. And I am far from perfect, people. Far from perfect. I have my faults, I have my flaws. I am no angel. But you know what I am? I'm human. You know what else I am? I'm awake. I'm awake, I'm aware, and I just want to wake y'all up. Anyone that I can. And I know, like I said, and I just want to say how much I love all of you that are here because you're right there with me and you're experiencing these things, and that's what brought you to my page. and you're just trying to find the answers, just like I have been forever. I love you, I love you, I love you, and I can't say it enough. And I'm telling you, we will and we can make this world change in a better way. We can. We totally can do it. But we can't do it when we have so many that are still sleeping. So many that are just sleepwalking through life and literally have no idea what a true good time is. And it's not going on vacation, and it's not buying your biggest, best house, and it's not having a new car that goes fast, and it's not having anything like that. Not a great job, none of that. You know what the best time in life is? The best version of us is just living here on earth in peace and harmony in a non-showy way, just embracing everybody for what and who they are as all equals, which there's another reason we've been kept fighting amongst each other, whether it be from race and color that they've kept us fighting, or whether it be from religion. I mean, every bit of man-made religion was invented just to do so. Nobody has realized that yet. Well, I mean, obviously there are some now. But I mean, people need to wake up. You are going to a building. That is not church. You're going to a building. Church is wherever you are and wherever those around you are with you. That's what church is. Okay? It is not like brownie point for me, smack myself on the butt, yay, patty cake, I went to church today. It is not that. That is not making God smile. In fact, he's been frowning down for a long time because of the deceit that's been spread upon this world and the deceit that is still continually being spread upon this world. But you know what makes him sadder? We lost all respect for one another. We lost all respect for this planet, and we lost all love and respect for him. And I'm telling you, he's coming. Jesus is coming back. Whatever you want to call him, whatever your name is for him, you all know you came from somewhere. We didn't come from a fart, okay? Nobody farted and then bam, there was Lisa. It didn't happen like that, okay? None of us. None of us, well, I mean, I was called a little fart all my life, but that's neither here nor there, okay? And by the way, keep that a secret. But the truth to be told, we came from a creator that never wanted life to be this way. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been created with all these wonderful emotions, well, back when we had them, of, you know, just happiness and bliss, tears and sorrow. When we see a fellow human suffering or hurting, we weep with them. But we don't do that anymore. We need to do that again. When we see people smile, we need to smile with them. When we see people sad, we need to put the smiles back on their faces. We have a duty to do that. It is our God-given duty and right to speak out against the evil that's being stirred upon this world and to help lift others up when they're falling. Not step on their heads while everyone's drowning just so you can get the last gulp of air. That's not what it's about. Okay, now me with all this talking, as you can see what I have up here in the sky, I have two of them. So I knew if I talked long enough about God and Jesus, they would come. And like I said, call it what you will. Yahshua HaMashiach, you know, Elohim, El Shaddai, I don't care. But your creator is your creator. And believe it or not, even the Hopi Indians talked about this. We're all worshiping the same thing. And when I say worshiping, I'm talking about rallying together and loving the greatness of that in which we were made of. You know, that's what I'm speaking of. And all the stories of old and ancient, all of those ancient beliefs, and including the modern day, are all basically structured upon the same beliefs, just with a little twist and a different story. And that's because sometimes men get in the way. Sometimes we get in our own way. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to if we just open our eyes and realize what the true meaning of our lives are. And this, my friends, is not it. It's not it.